Do you remember this growing up? The magic 8 ball. You ask a question, you shake it, and you look, and it gives you the answer. Don't you wish, as a leader, that you could have your own magic 8 ball? That you're dealing with a difficult situation, you have to make a decision, you shake it, and it gives you that perfect answer? Well, we don't live in that world. But we do know through research that there are 4 time-tested actions that all of us as leaders could apply that would make a difference in making great decisions. The first action has to do with the environment you create. As leaders, we all create an environment to make decisions. And we know this from research, that when we create an environment that has safety, it's what's called psychological safety, leaders make better decisions. Dr. Daniel Goleman actually found in his research that when leaders pull together people and create an environment that is safe and cohesive and has good team dynamics, that group is more likely to make a better decision than when a leader makes a decision on their own. The second action for making good decisions has to do with the people we include in the meetings that we're going to have to make that decision. For example, research shows that you want wise people, you want knowledgeable people, you really do want expertise. But what you don't want are toxic people. Let me share an illustration of what happens when you have those toxic people on a team. If you were to picture this glass of water as your team, and then it's a great team and it performs well, but you just bring in one toxic person, a person who is a kind of a backstabbing person, a person who has to know it all, they're arrogant, they don't listen to others. When you put them into the mix, all of a sudden, your team gets polluted. So remember this, if you want to make wise decisions, you have to pick your people carefully. The third action that's needed to make good decisions has to do with the humility that you model. You see, humility allows us to listen to others and even to reverse course at times if we're on a direction that maybe isn't best. A great illustration of this was a meeting that I was having with a client a number of years ago. They had just about finalized a decision to hire someone. And I was in a meeting with them and I realized they're not convinced about this decision. And after a period of conversation, they realized it too. And by that day, they realized they're not going to hire that person. That took a lot of humility to change their direction, even though that was going to be a little bit embarrassing for them. Wise leaders, good leaders, leaders who make good decisions, they're not afraid to show humility. Lastly, leaders who make good decisions show courage. When leaders are having to face tough decisions, sometimes they will punt it and others will postpone it. But that is not a good long-term strategy for leadership. Leaders have to make decisions and it takes courage. I was reading recently from a trauma surgeon and he was talking about what it's like to have a patient who's literally in crisis on an operating table. And that surgeon says you have to look at a lot of information and you have to take a lot of data into account, but eventually you have to do something. You have to take action. Peter Drucker said this. He said, behind every successful business is a leader who made a courageous decision. As a leader, how do you go about making good decisions? Thanks for watching.